Hi, I'm Nikki Woods. We are going beyond the studio on blackamericaweb.com with the very talented, amongst other things, Christian Keys, who is hanging out in Dallas because of a play Just Like Yo Daddy.
Yes, just like Yo Daddy.
So is it like the title, Just Like Yo Daddy? Or is it
Yes and no. I guess one of the character struggles in the play is whether or not he's going to be like his daddy or not. And then, also, I don't want to give away the actual story, but, a lot of us didn't have fathers. Mm-hmm. So, sometimes that creates fear about being a father, and those elements spill over into the relationship or the marriage and that kind of thing. So it touches on some very real things in a very funny way. It's some crazy people in this play.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah, but let's back up because I when I was doing some research for the interview, I was surprised. I think that everybody could say, okay, I saw him in that, and I've seen Christian in that, and I remember him from that. But you have done a ton of stuff.
Thankfully, yeah. Thank you. Keep it
From
up.
TV commercials to TV shows to movies, a ton of stuff. How did you get your big break, and what has that journey been like since?
I got my break theater. It's been really, really good to me. I started touring in 2003 on my first national gospel play. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, let me see, probably 2 years later, I started working with Tyler and a bunch of the Medea stuff. We did Medea Goes to Jail, What's Done in the Dark. We did those two for like 3 years. And then I moved to LA and started doing more commercial stuff and more TV and film and everything. And it's just been, the harder I work at it, the more doors he opens. So it's a beautiful thing.
Funny how that is. Huh?
Yeah, imagine that.
So what your mama tells you is true. Work hard at it. It'll work for you. What has been the most interesting part of your journey?
The most interesting that I didn't expect this. What
did you want to do when you were a little boy? What did you dream of doing?
I thought it was gonna be music. I thought they was gonna pull up in a limo, and Clive Davis was gonna get out.
They didn't do that for you today.
And
the
car was great. The car was great, but I thought for sure. Okay, I fell in love with music at 9. I wrote my first song at 12. I was like, okay, this is it. But as soon as we plan it out, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, and he was like, no, you're gonna act, bro. And he started opening doors and. I jumped into class as soon as I started booking acting stuff back in the day. And like I said, the harder I worked at it and the more prepared I got, he's like, okay, well, do you want to do this, this, and this, and this? And sometimes I don't even have time in my schedule to get all the opportunities that he sets up. So like I said, keep doing what you're doing, please, and thank you. And yeah, I'm good.
But music is still a really big part
yes.
of what you do. And I know that we're going to give you a little taste of Christian. Tell us a little bit about the song. And it's actually an inspirational song.
Mm-hmm. It was my first. I hit a slow spot with work, probably around 08, 09. And I was kind of second guessing whether or not I wanted to keep chasing acting. It's tough staying in a different city from my son and having to fly back every 3 weeks to see him, and then I keep him for the summers and everything. It's a great situation with me and his mom, thank God. But
she's not saying you just like your daddy.
No, she's not. Well, actually, she does because he is.
He's good.
Yes.
He's good.
Amen. Okay. So, but when you split up, sometimes it's not the greatest of situations, and thankfully ours is. I do my job, so I get no grief, which is a beautiful thing. But I was kind of hard on myself, and I still am sometimes because it feels like I'm being selfish a little bit. But I also know that if I chase my dream like this, I could make a better life for my boy. And so I kind of hit that lull, and the words in the song, I'm All Right, I needed to hear more than anybody. Like I was depressed a little bit, but I never showed anybody. And the song simply says, I'm all right. I'm going through, but I'm going to make it to the other side, y'all. I'm okay. I might bend under the pressure, but I'm not going to break. I got faith. I'm going to keep on believing and dreaming I can do anything. I'm all right, and I'm going to make it.
All right, and we're going to check out just a little bit of that right now.
Lately, it's been crazy, been through hell and back, but I made it, and I know there's a blessing on the other side of every trial. And I know he made me strong for a reason, and I know that it must be my season. So anytime that it gets a little rough, I encourage myself and say, I'm all right.
Well, I'm all right now.
Yeah, I am too. I am
Much
too.
better. Very good. We're actually going to have the entire video on TJTV for you to check out as well. So do you write for other people, or do you bring them into the mix, or is it just songs that you're inspired that inspire you that you write?
A little bit of both. I've sang some other artists' creations, which are dope. And I write for other people as well. And I definitely would like to do more. I mean, I've submitted some stuff on some big artists. I won't name them because they didn't, they didn't
yet.
record it. It didn't come out yet. So I'm not gonna name drop at this opportunity. But I mean, it's just something I love to do, just to create that story and make it to where if you had written it or if the camera guy had written it, if I heard it, I would have to rush and go get it.
Mm-hmm.
I try to make stuff like that. Like, what is that? Who is that? I got to go to iTunes and get it. That. I love that process.
So now I think that everybody, and we have some people in the TJMS family who are very close to you and know you well. But even outside of that, I've heard nothing but positive things about you and good things about you. Have you ever had any like incidences or situations that weren't so good in this business? I mean, we always hear about relationships falling apart, business relationships falling apart, and that sort of thing. Have you ever been in a situation like that?
I mean, you're gonna deal with that. You're gonna deal with less than stellar circumstances sometimes, but I don't know. I think it's how you deal with it. You can make a big thing out of it, or if a season ends, and another one's beginning, you gotta remove yourself so you can see it clearly. Okay, maybe I've outgrown this situation, and clearly, if my life is right and he's opening doors, then I'm a go in that direction. So I could view it as, oh, forget them. They don't want to deal with me no more. Or they don't want to. No, that was a blessing, but it's time to step up and do bigger and better things. So I've never really had a falling out or nothing like that. You never want to burn bridges anyway. I want to keep good friendships no, it's because it's small. Everybody
Right.
knows everybody or is related or somebody's cousin or something. You don't want to burn bridges. So I try to treat everybody like I want them to treat me.
Exactly. So now we hear a lot about like stereotypes and people being typecast and that sort of thing. Do you feel that you've been put in that box?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All this stuff.
He gets to play all the fine dude roles.
It's a tiny box too. It's a little box. This big.
What kind of role would you want to play that you haven't been asked to play yet?
Opposite of, like, I don't want to be, and I'm starting to branch out and do it more, not always the safe guy, not always the savior or the boyfriend that comes in and fixes it all. I want some of these newer characters to have some dirt on their hands, have made some mistakes or going to make some mistakes and then reconcile or things like that. I want to rob a bank. I want to steal a car in the next movie. We
want to see the bad boy Christian.
Yeah, I was born in Detroit. I grew up in Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
I have been shot at more than I care to remember. Yeah, for real. Yeah, last time I was in not Dallas, Detroit. I was telling a terrorist. I went out to a club and was dancing with some young lady I had just met, and her ex-boyfriend, who happened to be off his medication, was there. And pulled a gun on me outside. This was 2 years ago.
Wow.
So I ain't been out in the club in Detroit since then. Yeah.
In a minute. What advice would you give to people that kind of want to follow in your footsteps?
I would say I would borrow Will Smith's ideology. Be ready so you don't have to get ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So if it's music, stay in the vocal lessons, stay singing, stay, prepared. If it's acting or entertainment, stay in the classes. I'm still in acting class 13 years later.
And I was talking to Holly Robinson Pete the other day, and I thought I think that probably a lot of people know it, but it's such a great time now to just do it. I mean, you can make your YouTube TV series. You can put your stuff on iTunes yourself. I mean, you can just do it now.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for anybody to give you that opportunity.
And that's thankfully that's what I've been blessed to be able to do. Note to Self came out last year. I wrote it, and the cast was phenomenal. To actually see that go from, matter of fact, I wrote that when we were touring with Medea. In 2005, and 7 years later for it to finally come out, something that you created. And then the cast was crazy. Valerie Pettiford, Richard T. Jones, LaToya Luckett, Brian McKnight, Jason Weaver, Eva Pickford. Like, it was a great cast, and we're doing it again. I'm doing another film that I wrote. We shoot Ladies Night next month.
Awesome. So, and I know all the information about you is on christiankeys.com, correct? So what about information on the play You Just Like Your Daddy?
Just like your daddy.com.
Yo, not you. It's Y-O, right? Okay.
Yes, like
Very
it's
good.
like it sounds.
Well, very good. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Trust me, you've made a lot of people's day.
Well, thank you guys for having me. Y'all made my day. It's so colorful and bright.
This
They
is
got
the Red Velvet Cake Studio.
It's nice in here. Energy is really good, and
Yeah. He feng shuied it.
it's funky in here.
All right. It's Christian Keys. I'm Nikki Woods. We've gone beyond the studio on blackamericaweb.com.